Idam maha pritasati. Please chant. Brahma teja vinirmuktar Atmajar saha Krishnaya Prayana bhimukam Krishnam Idam maha pritasati. Brahma teja vinirmuktar Atmajar saha Krishnaya Prayana bhimukam Krishnam Idam maha pritasati. Anyone else? And our thanks to Mother Sadanandini for always writing the verse on the board, and it looks so nice. Okay, let's say word for word. Brahma Teja, the radiation of the Brahmastra. Vinir Muktai, being saved from. Atmajai, along with her sons. Saha, with. Krishnaya, Draupadi. Prayana, outgoing. Abhimukam, towards. Krishnam, unto Lord Krishna. Idam, this. Aha, said. Prita, Kunti. Sati, chaste. Devoted to the Lord. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Thus saved from the radiation of the Brahmastra, Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her 5 sons and Draupadi, addressed Lord Krishna as he started for home. Please repeat. Thus saved from the radiation of the Brahmastra, Kunti, the chaste devotee of the Lord, and her 5 sons and Draupadi, addressed Lord Krishna as he started for home. Kunti is described herein as sati, or chaste, due to her unalloyed devotion to Lord Shri Krishna. Her mind will now be expressed in the following prayers for Lord Krishna. A chaste devotee of the Lord does not look to others, namely any other living being or demigod, even for deliverance from danger. That was all along the characteristic of the whole family of the Pandavas. They knew nothing except Krishna, and therefore the Lord was also always ready to help them in all respects and in all circumstances. That is the transcendental nature of the Lord. He reciprocates the dependence of the devotee. One should not, therefore, look for help from imperfect living beings or demigods, but one should look for all help from Lord Krishna, who is competent to save his devotees. Such a chaste devotee also never asks the Lord for help, but the Lord, out of his own accord, is always anxious to render it. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Ratapaja Swami Iti Namine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Tamal Krishna Goswami Iti Namine Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Shrimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paskata Deshtarine. Okay, so we made some notes here. And what is so wonderful online is that you can pull up Canto 1, Chapter 8 text, practically all of the texts Srila Prabhupada gives a lecture series while he's traveling. He's traveling between New York City and Los Angeles, and he's speaking on this exact verse. Now, I couldn't find 17 due to it being in Hindi, and I've yet to get my Hindi down. I can understand, so be careful if you're talking Hindi in the Pujari room or wherever, because I can understand a little bit. Just joking. Anyway, but I could not understand some of it, and so what I did is I skipped to 18 and 21. Was it 21? And no, 20. Okay. Yeah, so it's text 20 and 26. And what's so nice is that Srila Prabhupada actually makes references here. The first thing we'd like to do is cite the chaste example of Queen Gandhari. There are many chaste women in the history of the Bhagavatam. So many, actually. The chaste woman in the Bhagavatam, Gandhari stands out as one of the finest. She was a queen, actually a princess, and we brought the Mahabharata by His Grace Krishna Dharma, and he actually gives a definition of each personality. Gandhari, daughter of the king of Gandhara, who became Dhritarashtra's wife. Having once pleased Vyasadeva by her service, she was blessed by the sage that she would have 100 sons. Thank you. After marrying the blind Dhritarashtra, she covered her own eyes with a cloth for the rest of her life. She is thus famous as one of the most chaste ladies in Vedic history. She died in the forest with her husband and Kunti. So, Gandhari, being a young princess, she could have had any husband. She was that qualified. Any warrior would have been beyond thrilled to have her as a wife. But when she was offered the blind Dhritarashtra, she immediately knew this was her destiny. And she covered her eyes. And I don't know many people who would do that these days. Who would do that? I mean, your husband is not able to see, so would you cover your eyes? No, probably you wouldn't, because you'd want to be his eyes. You'd want to be there to help him see. But so she's definitely stands supreme as one of the finest examples of chastity. But Srila Prabhupada took it a step further. Actual chastity, he says, is seeking shelter of Sri Krishna and no one else. This is why Queen Kunti is considered chaste, as she continually took shelter of her nephew, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who was Queen Kunti. The Mahabharata says she was gifted with beauty and character. She rejoiced in the law, dharma, and was great in her vows. So this is, she's the Pandava's mother. She was the sister of Vasudeva, Krishna's father. Kunti's own father, Surasena, had given her as a baby to his close friend, Kunti Bhoja, who had no children. How kind of Surasena to give a beloved little baby. I mean, his precious baby he gives as a gift to his beloved friend. And just gave, Surasena gave Kunti Bhoja no end of pleasure. He had no children, so she was named Pritha at birth, but became better known as Kunti after being raised by Kunti Bhoja. Once, while still a young girl, the sage Durvasa visited King Kunti Bhoja. Due to his being served expertly and with a humble attitude, the sage, who was very temperamental, benedicted Kunti with the mantra that when recited while meditating on a certain demigod, would call the demigod to her presence to do her bidding. As a virgin maiden, she innocently summoned the sun god Suryadev. So, Srila Prabhupada elaborated a little bit more that she was at the mercy of Suryadev. So she took shelter, and she immediately asked for guidance, because she was in a very strong predicament. How can I join with another when I'm not even married and I'm a virgin, and I have to be a virgin at the time of my marriage? And so Suryadev, he assured her that your virginity will remain intact, because he had that much power. So Suryadev, being the eye of the Lord and being completely empowered with the ability to purify anything, he united with Kunti, and then Karna was born. And so she was faced with a very difficult situation. She had this beautiful baby, and consequently realized that she could not be seen with a baby. Otherwise, obviously, her father would know. So she floated the baby in a basket, wrapped him in cloth, and prayed intensely to the sun god and to all the controlling deities, and of course to Lord Shri Krishna, to please watch over the child. And he did. And just a few moments later, Atirath and his wife found the baby in a wooden basket and accepted the baby as their own, because Atirath's wife was without children. So again, another childless situation. And so she was overjoyed. She was finally a mother and could raise the baby. Okay, so on the lecture on 1.8.20, ordinarily we take women, Vaishyas, and Shudras as lower grade. Women are generally less intelligent. This is quoting Srila Prabhupada. And he's speaking generally. So women are generally less intelligent. Anyone, however, he says, anyone who's taken to Krishna consciousness is most intelligent. Krishna consciousness movement is meant for the most fortunate because they have the line as to how their life will be perfect. Although Kunti has a womanly body, she is not ordinary. Kunti says, "You, Krishna, you've come to me as my nephew, yet you're not visible to the fools and rascals." Prabhupada calls fools and rascals murdadvisha. Murdadvisha. You hear that word and you can think of it even sounds like it. So Srila Prabhupada said, obviously Kunti is seeing Krishna. So if you're seeing Krishna, you can't say that you're not visible to the fools and rascals. So Prabhupada qualified that. He said, if you're not seeing Krishna, then how can you say that? So obviously Kunti was seeing Krishna. He said, sorry, I'm depending on my notes here. My brain is tired. It's in a rebellious mode. We are in an ocean of material world, and the ocean is always tilted. Srila Prabhupada used the word tilted. So imagine you're on a floor. Okay, let's say, and they do these fun parks, right? You go to the fun park, and you're in this room, and you think, oh, it's kind of nice in here. And all of a sudden, the floor starts tilting. And then you have to fall to the other side. You have no choice. And that's how the ocean of the material world is. It's tilted. We cannot expect anything but distress. But, Srila Prabhupada says, if you become he says, at any moment, tumultuous waves. Not only is it a tilted ocean, he said, at any moment, tumultuous waves. But if you become a devotee, then you escape. Maya will test how far you are fixed up. She will test if you have come to Krishna to disturb him or if you are serious. So Srila Prabhupada was very strong. And this is 1/8/20. So if you get a chance, it's a 30-minute lecture, totally worth your time. Just hear it out, and you'll be like, okay, I got it. Okay, so I'm going to go back over now to later lecture, 1/8/26. Srila Prabhupada emphasized, materially intoxicated persons cannot feelingly address God. And Prabhupada said, Jai Radha Madhava. And when he said Jai Radha Madhava, you just felt your heart get pulled. Your heart was pulled when he would say it. And so you could hear how he feelingly addressed Krishna. They cannot understand God. And he emphasized material intoxication. I counted, it was probably 6 or 7 times. He used the word materially intoxicated. And he was quoting the verse, 1/8/26, Kunti Devi saying, unless you are materially exhausted, you cannot approach the Lord. You can't. Anyway, these verses are coming up, so you have a lot to look forward to. He used the example of the communists. And he's told a story about the communists. So the communists, they would challenge the churchgoers. They would park over by the church. And they would challenge the churchgoers as they went into the church. And they would say, okay, you're going to ask for bread, right? Now ask for bread, Make sure you go ask for your bread from God. Well, as they came out, now ask, did you get your bread? Now ask us for bread. And of course they came with a big truck loaded with bread. Then they opened their truck. Here, take as much as you like. Now who is better, your God or us? And Srila Prabhupada tells this story. Oh, communist friends, you are. And all the devotees are laughing. That's how Srila Prabhupada said it. But we challenge the atheist communists. He got really strong. We challenge them. Where have you gotten your bread? Where did your bread come from? You rascal? He used the word rascal very strongly. You rascal. Where from did you get this bread? You have stolen it from God. Everyone is a child of God, and everyone has the right to use the property of the Father. So Srila Prabhupada, in the book distribution, going back to women being generally less intelligent, there's a book distribution book out there, The Spiritual Master. It's a really good book to read. It's old. It was published in 1980, 1979, somewhere around there. And in there he says, and he emphasizes, that women who are out on Sankirtan, who propagate the holy name, who support the ISKCON movement, they are as good as their brothers. They have 64-ounce brain. Because the whole thing was the weight of the brain, how heavy the brain is. So Srila Prabhupada declared they have 64-ounce brain. So that he said Krishna consciousness is the proof. One who is not disturbed is called a Paramahamsa. Swans can extract milk from a mixture of milk and water. So this is a definition of a Paramahamsa. one who's not disturbed. Activities of this body is due to the soul. So the soul can't move without the body can't move without the soul. Similarly, one who knows that Krishna is the center of everything is a Paramahamsa. Kunti says, you, Krishna, are meant for the Paramahamsas, not the rascals and fools. Srila Prabhupada says, Bhakti Yoga is meant for the cleaned heart, the cleansed heart, not the lusty and greedy. What are we? We are simply women. How can we understand you? And Srila Prabhupada said this is proof of her humility. She perfectly understood Krishna, but yet she claimed, I have no understanding. And she said this humility is the mark of a Vaishnava. So you may be completely self-realized, but that means you're humble. Okay, so going back to the purport, I have some notes on the purport here. Oh yeah. Here we go. Just remembered. It's right here. Okay, so this is in Prayers of Queen Kunti. And Srila Prabhupada's devotees in Los Angeles, they wrote a very nice foreword in the introduction. The tragic and heroic figure of Queen Kunti emerges from an explosive era in the history of ancient India. As related in the Mahabharata, India's grand epic poem of 110,000 couplets, Kunti was the wife of King Pandu and the wife of 5 illustrious sons known as the Pandavas. As such, she was one of the central figures in a complex political drama that culminated 50 centuries ago in the Kurukshetra War, a devastating war of ascendancy that changed the course of world events. The Mahabharata describes the prelude to the Holocaust as follows. So it's all written out here about Kunti and about her involvement with King Pandu, and Madri. Mother Madri was her co-wife. And it talks about how the 5 Pandavas were born, and how when Pandu left the planet, Madri gave up her life. And it was agreed that Kunti would care for the children, and that Madri would ascend the funeral pyre. And then I guess one more thing here. All right. Serious Srila Prabhupada, this is what we wanted to emphasize. Okay. A chaste devotee of the Lord does not look to others, namely any other living being or demigod, even for deliverance from danger. Okay, so what I'd like to bring out here is, so we don't look to any demigod or any other living being, but yet we take shelter of the devotees, right? And then so someone may say, well, wait a minute, is this a pure devotee? Is this devotee a Paramahamsa? I saw this devotee lose their temper the other day. I heard them do something socially unacceptable. They can't be a pure devotee, or they can't be a devotee, even, maybe not even, like the mind does that, accepting, rejecting. The bottom line is this. The person may not be pure, but the knowledge is pure. The person may not be pure, but the process is pure. Whatever you think of the person, up, down, left, right, sideways, doesn't matter. If they are accepting the instructions of the spiritual master as their life and soul, that person is a pure devotee. Tamal Krishna Maharaj asked that question to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, how many pure devotees are in ISKCON? They were in a walk in Los Angeles. And Srila Prabhupada stopped, turned around, asked Shyamasundar, Shama Sundar, how many devotees are in the movement right now? And at the time, there were a few thousand. He said, yeah, it was a few thousand pure devotees. And Srila Gurudev was like, okay. And he got it. And Srila Gurudev has used that example so many times in his lectures. You can go to TKG TM, Take Ministry, and you'll hear him quote this a lot. Because the person is on the path. It's just like in this note. They have the line. Srila Prabhupada made that clear. He said they have the line of Krishna. That is because they know what is the process. Sorry, I can't find it, but it's here somewhere. Because they have the line of Krishna consciousness, and they understand the line on the path. So just like you're in a deep, dark forest full of wild animals and treacherous sounds and whatever, and you have this path, if you stay on that path, you're okay, because you're getting through the forest. So this is just like a way station here in the material world. And they have the line of Krishna consciousness. So that's what you want to depend on. And you want to talk to them about Krishna. Prabhu, I'm having so much trouble chanting my rounds. Prabhu, why does it take me 1 hour to chant 5 rounds? Or anything, just whatever's on your mind. This person is so mean to me. Why are they mean to me? Well, who are you? You preach to them. You say, well, wait a minute, hold it. They're mean to you or to your mind? Which one? And then they think, oh, okay. Actually, they're doing their service. And then you realize, wait a minute. Okay, they're engaged in service. So sometimes it gets a little blown out of proportion, the problems. And so you just take shelter. And so here it is. A chaste devotee of the Lord does not look to others, namely any other living being or demigod, even for deliverance from danger. That was all along the characteristic of the whole family of Pandavas. They knew nothing but Krishna. And therefore the Lord was always ready to help them in all respects and in all circumstances. That is the transcendental nature of the Lord. He reciprocates the dependence of the devotee. If you wake up and chant the Panchatattva mantra, as soon as you open your eyes, Sri Krishna, Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita, Gadadhar, Shivas, Adi Gaura Bhaktivinoda, and then if you do that, all of a sudden you've invoked the Panchatattva, the absolute truth in 5 features. That's your first words on the day. And then all of a sudden they're there. Yes, let's chant. Let's go. Let's go for Govinda, as they say. I'm going to open the floor. Is that all right? Jai Hari. Save me, Jai Hari, Prabhu. It's okay. I'll repeat what you say. Such a chaste devotee, Jai Hari has a question about the last sentence. Such a chaste devotee also never asks the Lord for help, but the Lord, out of his own accord, is always anxious to render it. Is that it? Is that the right one? Okay, go ahead. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Let me stop you there. I just wanted to quote exactly. So Jayahari is bringing out the point that Krishna is reciprocal. If you are just dependent on your own wiles or rational mind or your own rationale, then Krishna is aloof. But if you're totally dependent, Krishna helps. Go ahead. You have 5 factors of action. Go ahead. The ultimate cause for action is Krishna, yes. We have to depend on him. Okay, so the question is that a chaste devotee never asks the Lord for help? But the question is, being that you heard, that if you don't ask for help, okay. Got it. Okay, so if you don't ask for help, then Krishna thinks, okay, you've got it. And so what's the point of asking for help? Right? Is that, kind of what you're saying, or why, when we should ask for help? In order to get help, we have to ask Krishna for help. Uh-huh. Okay, you have a fear that you're not a chaste devotee of the Lord because you're asking the Lord for help. It's a paradox. Achincha beta beta tattva. So it's simultaneously one yet different. Krishna can do that. He has that ability. And not only that, you may ask for something to help you. You may ask for someone to help, but, or you may not even be thinking to ask, or you've asked and Krishna helps you more. He helps you beyond what you asked. I've seen it thousands of times, how Shishi Radhakalachandji do that. They help, even beyond, way beyond. Jai Radhakalachandji. Yeah, I mean, I depend on them and the most beautiful. Thank you. Sorry, Shishi Rukmini Dwarkadish. Sorry, Shishi Radha Nilamana. Please forgive me. Shishi Radhakalachandji is the most beautiful. Okay. Yeah, no, they totally are. And so, yeah, it's a paradox. But it's like, what's that old saying? You're darned if you do and darned if you don't. So, yeah, it's like, Krishna, I'm so sorry to ask you for this. And I mean, you can always preface that, please forgive me. I'm really sorry, but I'm at my wit's end. I don't get this, and I'm confused. Please kindly help me understand. And let it go. See, the main thing is to let it go. Krishna gets a little irritated when you keep asking and asking and asking for the same thing over and over and over. It's like, okay, just be patient. Just wait. So you ask and you let it go and be patient. And just know that he knows and you know. And it happens. So it's Kali Yuga. I know Srila Prabhupada is right about this, but at the same time, who else do we have? We have the Guru. We have to ask the Guru. And the Guru will many times say, pray to Krishna. I've had Ritavaja Maharaj, he's told me to pray to Krishna. personally. I mean, I don't think Maharaj remembers all the things he said to me, but I've kept all of his emails and all of his correspondence. And anyway, it's what is it? Yayatamam prapadyante tam sataiva bhajamiyaham. As they surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. So if all you know is Krishna Jayari, then you have to ask. You have to ask. It's like, I mean, sometimes you have to. Yep. Nishingripa. Nice. Yeah. Nice. Nice. Bhakti Kaylee is making the point, if you don't mind, I'm sorry, I'm going to jump in. She's making the point that Srila Prabhupada would often use the example of the Christians who are always asking for bread. He said, but devotees don't have to do that. Krishna's going to provide the bread, right? Is that it? We don't need to ask for help because we know Krishna is already going to help. What was that? But that's really difficult. It is, especially the waiting part. Okay, Nishingrupa, please. See? So it's simultaneously both. Nishingrupa pointed out the verse right before the last verse. One should not therefore look for help from imperfect living beings or demigods, but one should look for all help from Lord Krishna, who is competent to save his devotees. And Tulsi Saki, thank you, Nishingrupa. What were you saying? Please. Yep. Yep. Yeah. That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. In a material sense, right? So let me try to paraphrase, and then I want you to continue. So Gandhari is described. Tulsi Saki is bringing out the point that Gandhari Mataji is very chaste because she had the blindfold before even coming to Hastinapur to marry Dhritarashtra. Yet at the same time, she supported her son who tried to capture Krishna and cause him harm. And so she was supporting that. And what was the other point you made about her? And she lost all her sons, and she directed her anger at the lotus toes of the Supreme Lord. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, ultimately she was chaste because she directed her anger at Krishna because he's the cause of all causes. And she knew that. Yeah. Yeah. Kunti's meditation is in love. Draupadi's meditation is in love. Look how honored Draupadi is. Krishnaya. Krishnaya. When I first heard Krishnaya is Draupadi, I was like, whoa. And Krishna gave her his name. Yeah. So the love, it's two kinds of rasas, I guess. My mom had a challenge to Tamal Krishna Goswami, Gurudev. So why India? Why did God choose India? Mom was really incensed, So you have God, huh? And so she challenged. And I have the letters. I have hers and I have Gurudev's. And so the difference is that Gurudev said that India was where there was love for the Lord. And that is why Krishna chose Bharatvarsha, India itself, because that's where the love is. I mean, tell me, are you going to want to go into a place where everybody hates you or everybody loves you? Which one do you want? I mean, come on. Seriously, Krishna's he's just reciprocating. That's it. Right? Thank you, Tulsi Saki. And forgive me if I didn't get it right. And Kaylee, Prabhu, thank you. Anything else? One more? Got one more point? Should I hurry? Yeah. You heard two things. Best prayer to Lord Krishna. Can we please be of service to you? Nothing for me, all for you. Tall order. Oh. It's so yes. Yes, it's a runner-up. And it involves 4 phases, this prayer. 1, glorify the Lord. 2, thank the Lord for everything. Misgivings, shortcomings. 3, to apologize for any shortcomings. 4 is to humbly beg if it pleases you. And Srila Prabhupada quoted that, what you just said in the 4th one. Oh Krishna, if you so desire. Because the devotees wanted to pray for Srila Prabhupada to stay. And Srila Prabhupada gave them the prayer. Krishna, if you so desire, please heal Srila Prabhupada. So, Kaylee? Different question. No problem. Huh. Uh-huh. Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yes, it does. So Kaylee brought up the point that we may try to take shelter of the devotees, and their knowledge may be pure, their siddhanta, what they're following may be pure, but yet she made an observation that sometimes their understanding is not. It's not quite in line with Srila Prabhupada. Is that it? Or they take things out of context. We want to take shelter of the devotees, but we have trust issues. It's Kali Yuga. Very good point. No, that's a great point. It's a very good point. It's valid, totally valid. Nishinrupa? Nishinrupa brought out the point that we have trusted advisors and mentors when things like that happen, when you have that kind of circumstance. Srila Prabhupada uses the example of the expert technician or mechanic, and if you follow their process exactly, then you're also an expert technician or a mechanic. Nice, nice. And you can always ask a question. If someone says something, Prabhu, perhaps we could think about it this way. Maybe ask a question, and they may just say, well, I don't know, and then leave it. And then you can approach your mentor or someone you take shelter of. The verse says is that we're taking shelter of Krishna, but yet how do we understand when the drowning man and God sends the boat, sends the helicopter, sends rescue team? Go ahead. Krishna may be sending all these things, but we don't understand that it is Krishna. That's exactly right. Yeah, the man drowned and went to God and said, God, you didn't help me. What happened? He said, I sent a boat, I sent a helicopter, I sent a rescue team, I sent the Navy SEALs. You know, what do you want? You know? But yeah, birth after birth, we've taken so many births. And then now we're at the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada and the spiritual masters underneath him who are following in his line. And right, it's also a self-trust issue, if I may interject that. Sometimes we have a problem with trusting ourselves. And then, you know, and we have to be confident. This is real. This is right. This is what I want. Yeah, and humbly pursue. Kunti, I just want to say one more thing about Queen Kunti. Queen Kunti's heart was very soft. We have relationships that are based, and this is from this is Giriraj Swami's lecture, 19 October 2008. Queen Kunti's heart was very soft. We have relationships that are based on Krishna, not on the bodily platform. Based on the book, The Third Partner, and he has this book that he promoted called The Third Partner. It's a very spiritual book. The cover shows a bride and groom exchanging vows with Krishna between them. This is the perfection of marriage, to keep Krishna as the foundation and the pivotal point. During japa, we pray to Krishna. During japa, we pray to Krishna and his associates to appreciate their kindness and mercy. Take every opportunity to hear and chant about Sri Krishna. One example Maharaj gave was years ago. There was an ISKCON road show, but the rock music attracted a drugged-out following, so they had to stop, per Srila Prabhupada. So that was one example. And it says right here, as we spend more and more time with devotees, our memories will become transcendental. Pretty nice, huh? A gradual association with devotees through Krishna consciousness, then our memory will change. Beautiful. I'll stop there, but I want to thank you for attending, and thank you for being here, and please forgive me for any mistakes or shortcomings. Is there anything else? Jahari? Radha Kalachandji has the best festivals. Hey, Haridas, if you're listening, good job, man. We just need a bigger temple room. we need to like encompass the hallway and then move everything that way. Or move it out to the park. Open the walls and bring it out to the park, Just knock down the walls and make it about 20 feet wider. 30, and then we'll end up with 20. Jai. Anything else? Okay. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Gurudev ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi. Hari Hari Bol.